Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to PsychCandy for Thursday, September 15th. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week and everything's going good. I want to welcome Tanya, Mark. Good to see you guys. Everybody that's watching out on YouTube and on Facebook, welcome. Today I am going to be going into the topic of being real. Graciela, nice to see you. Today we're going to talk about, do we understand being real? When you hear that, most of us, are you being real? Of course I am. But are we? Do we really understand that concept of authenticity? A lot of times when couples come to me, or even individuals in therapy, they report that they're having maybe a communication problem, which is actually one of the leading issues that couples face. And this may very well be true, but more importantly, they're often having trouble just being real, both with themselves and with each other. Listen, the foundation for healthy and vibrant partnerships, friendships, it's forged through authentic mutual sharing of what each person is experiencing inside, along with how they communicate their experience to each other. Many of us, we pride ourselves on being authentic, but authenticity is a very tricky term, because it points towards an ongoing process of uncovering what's brewing maybe deeper down within us. We may pride ourselves on being real when we express our quote-unquote honest opinion about what's wrong with someone or become rageful. But this doesn't qualify as authentic communication. Attacking, judging, blaming others, that is far from what it means to be real and to be honest. And these cause more harm than anything else. Authenticity, it involves a sincere effort to go deep inside ourselves and uncover what we're actually experiencing and then communicate that. True authenticity requires that we pause for a second. We check in with ourselves before responding, rather than just sloppily venting emotions in a reactive way. This is what gets most people in deeper trouble or cause serious harm to their relationship. And more importantly, it causes that harm to your relationship with yourself. So I want to share two ingredients that comprise a robust and interpersonally engaging aspect of authenticity. So two things to kind of bear in mind here. And the first one is being mindful. Now, there can be no authenticity without mindful awareness of what we're actually experiencing. Mindfulness means attending to our experience just as it is without judging ourselves. We allow our experience to be just as it is. And oftentimes we don't allow ourselves to experience what is because it's contaminated by other things like shame or deflection. We imagine that something is wrong with us for having particular feelings. We try to fit ourselves into some image of how we think that we need to be in order to be respected or to be loved. We judge ourselves as weak or defective if we, experience uncomfortable feelings such as sadness, hurt, fear. We may be convinced that if we showed vulnerability to others, they'd be so horrified that they'd reject us or think less of us. But vulnerable feelings are simply a part of being human. It's a great strength to embrace our humanity, not a weakness. Remember that. Bringing a gentle mindfulness to the full range of our human experience and disclosing this to people that we want to be close to creates a climate for very rich connections. So by being mindful of what we're experiencing from moment to moment, we stay connected to ourselves. This intimacy with ourselves creates a foundation for being more intimate with others. So noticing and sharing our authentic experience invites people towards us, allowing a person to see what's real for us. Then we invite them into our heart. There's so many different avenues that we could go down talking about how to be mindful, how to be self-aware, but when you really do grasp that aspect of when we're mindful, that being mindful of with ourselves, that is also a very strong component of just us being human. But we have to be all encompassing of paying attention to what is my reality? What is my position right now? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I experiencing? And then when we're in those modes to convey this, are we conveying that? Or are we filtering it? Well, I'm not going to go into all my problems, you know, I'm not gonna share really what's going on. We're gonna give the surface, the pretext answers. We don't want to do that. We got to get to that place where we're communicating. Because here's the thing. This is what I want to say. When we filter with other people, we start to actually build that same process when we're talking to ourselves. So we begin to build that filter into our normal mindset and scope of how we communicate with ourselves, how we connect with ourselves. Now, the next thing I want to bring up here is being kind. Now, we've probably known people who are kind, but they're very emotionally dishonest. They hide their genuine feelings, leaving us to guess about how they feel or what they want or what they're thinking. So it's difficult to connect with people who are not sincere and direct. We might choke on their absolute sweetness when it's not linked with authenticity. However, the attempt to be real without the softening ingredient of kindness can quickly morph into a very brutal situation. Mindfulness, wedded to kind communication, is a very powerful force. Being aware of our feelings and wants and conveying them in a kind way is far more likely to be well received, right? Human hearts are tender. People become less defensive and more receptive when we communicate our feelings, not only genuinely, but with a gentleness that takes to heart how vulnerable we all are. I like this one part of the right speech in Buddhism. I like this though. And it's before speaking, we might pause and ask ourselves, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Man, if you put that into your filter, so to speak, and start exercising that before you open your mouth sometimes, I'll tell you something. You're going to get a whole different perception. You offer people that chance to, one, form that genuine communication back and forth, form that foundation that actually has some merit to it. I notice how connections with like couples and so forth, connections become deeper and sweeter as the couple becomes mindful of what they've authentically experienced and are experiencing, and as they cultivate the courage and skills to convey this in that kind of gentle way, man, that brings in that intimacy, that mindful intimacy. Rather than struggle to change, fix, or analyze, each other. Love thrives in a climate of mutual authenticity, bathed in the gentle waters of kindness. People who feel safe being together are naturally drawn into a deeper participation into each other's lives and hearts. Being real. The other aspect is, have you ever met those people that right off the bat, there's just not a lot of genuine there. There's a lot of surface mask. There's a mask. There's a lot of shielding. There's a lot of walls and blocks and, predefined messages and, you know what I'm saying? And after a while, when somebody just simply is not opening up, you can tell that. And when that happens, typically it causes us to not. Now we're going to stop opening up too, maybe just to that person at first, but then start building onto that. And let me tell you something. We are all human. We all make mistakes. We all have issues we've come through. We all battle things. But that's the whole thing, is when we understand we are all human. We all go through that stuff. So guess what? You ain't got to be worried about Sharon sometimes that you're going through a rough patch. You don't have to worry about that. You know, you're maybe coming out of a bad relationship or something. That's life. It happens sometimes. Dave, good to see you, man. You know, Dave has a show. He has a show that's the married couple. And do you know what is cool about that? And yeah, I'm using you as an example, buddy. But Dave and Sam, when you watch them together, there's two things I notice right off the bat. Number one, you can tell they love each other. There's mutual respect. There's mutual, like, how they talk to each other, how they look at each other. There's love there. Number two, what you see is what you get. Like, they're very real when they're communicating on their show. I've spoken to Dave, you know, offline too, and everything's always real. It's the same Dave. It's the same Dave and Sam. That's authentic. See, that's genuine. So that's something that when you notice that with somebody, you know, when you notice that, well, it can cause you now. Hey, I feel I'm not having to battle through some false wall. I'm not having to battle through fake. I'm not having to battle through all of that. Just, this is real, you know. And that's how friendships form. That's how you form that position of, I can talk. I like this person, or I like communicating here. I'm not. It's not a struggle. It's natural. See, we want that. We want that aspect. We want that ability. We want to be able to really lock in. What are we doing? Us. How am I projecting? And am I projecting a fake presentation that, if I want to have anything of value, guess what? I'm going to break that down at some point. Or am I just going to start off the bat and just be authentic from the beginning? And I was sorry, I paused to read it back in the story. And yes, later today, it will be before 11 p.m. this evening, for those that follow and keep track of Countywide Manhunt. That's a band that I actually manage on the side of my crazy world, and I love it. And but they have a new national release that's going to be popping out today, and I'm excited. So yeah, it's going to be on their website, countywidemanhunt.com. So check that out later. But yeah, guys, I hope that this has been some good food for you. I hope it's been, you know, something to kind of take in. It's just important. Now, tomorrow I'm going to be kind of doing a part 2 to this, and it's going to be about approach and projection. So we're going to be adding into this, and tomorrow will be the part 2. But just remember, though, when you start off in a open, honest way, you're all you're doing is making things easier for yourself, emotionally, for the connection or the relationship that you're trying to work on. Just be mindful of that. Take care of how you present. Take care of the relationship you have with yourself, and make sure it is real. And when somebody, you know, if you're close friends, your partner, your lover, your wife, your husband, and they're really sitting there maybe asking you like, "Hey, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Whatever. Yeah, I'm fine." No, I'm not. No, I'm not fine right now. You know, I'm feeling a certain way today. I'm struggling a little bit. This is what I'm feeling. Here's what's going on. Or maybe you don't know, and that's fine. Convey that. But when you communicate clearly, then you don't leave room for assumption. You don't leave room for all the guesswork. You don't leave, you know, that's annoying. You know that as well as I do. That's annoying on any scope. I mean, I'm guilty sometimes of saying something and I wasn't as clear as I should have been. So then I cause a situation where somebody might assume what I'm saying or miscommunicate, you know, misunderstand what I'm saying. Well, let's remove that. Be real, be clear, be open, be honest. Just here it is. And, you know, and being real also, especially when you have maybe come through bad relationships, emotional abuse, even physical abuse, whatever those cases are, you've been through a bad row, right? Well, it's hard sometimes to like fully say, hey, I'm being real, I'm being vulnerable. I mean, because the last time you did it, Well, you got screwed over, you got hurt. And so that's a hard place, but you got to remember that we have to keep elevating past those things. We want to grow past it, and we want to continue that strive to be real. Be real. And the more you do that, you got to plant those seeds. We want to continue to be a little vulnerable. We want to continue to be able to communicate. We want to be able to continue to do those things that enrich our lives, our relationships, our life, our world, and the connections we have. So that's what I have for you today. Guys, thank you so much for everybody that's come in. Elizabeth, Graciela, Tanya, Dave, Deanna, Mark, everybody watching out on YouTube and on Facebook. Guys, love you to death. Sending you lots of love and light this week. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. I will be back here with you again. We're going to be talking about approach and projection tomorrow. 11:30 a.m. right here. And yeah, guys, I appreciate you so much. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and most importantly, be you. And be the real you. All right, guys, take care. See you tomorrow.
It's no secret